Hello everyone, welcome to the Hypergamous Journey. My name is Denise. At this channel, I give dating advice for women who are 55 and older from a hypergamous lens. Hypergamy is the cultural tradition, the built-in DNA of women to want to date and marry a man of a higher social and economic level. Today's video is about a request from one of my viewers or subscribers. I don't remember the viewer slash subscriber's name, but her question was this: can you do a video on relationships? If you are that person, please comment below to let me know your thoughts on this video. And of course, everyone else, please comment. But she or he specifically asked this question: can you do a video on relationships? And the answer is yes, I can, and here it is. I had to marinate on the question for a little bit because I thought, well, I thought I was doing relationship videos. I thought I was doing relationship videos. But I think the relationship video that she is asking about has to do with being in a relationship with a man. And I had to think, well, what is your relationship experience? I'm 61. I have plenty of relationship experience, but it isn't from a hypergamous viewpoint. My relationships were not based on hypergamy. My relationships were with usually younger men. When I was in my 30s, 37, in my 40s, I looked like I was in my 30s. So I always looked at least 10 years younger than I actually was. So when I was dating in my 30s, I looked like I was in my 20s. When I was in my 40s, I looked like I was in my 30s. I don't know what I look like today, so I'm not even going to touch that question. So I'm 61. And so I thought, well, it's been a minute since I've had a relationship. But my relationships have always been from my relationships have been both hypergamy, especially in my early years. My relationships have been hypergamy in my 20s and my early 20s. When I graduated college, one guy stands out in particular as hypergamy. And then all the other relationships were with men who were at my same level. I just want to make sure I'm really, saying what's true. So one stands out as hypergamy for sure. And I quickly got rid of his butt. Yeah. So maybe we dated for 3 months, 6 months. I'm not sure. But, he was gone and I was like, good riddance. And so I just want to give you a little backstory. So I don't have a history of living with men, living with boyfriends. I did think about it, but, I never did that because it just never felt right. Like, this is my place, okay? And when I want you gone, I want you gone. And I'm not going to sign nothing with you. I'm not going to co-sign anything with you. One boyfriend I had, he had 2 children and an ex-girlfriend, baby mama. Before we were calling them baby mamas, but he had 2 children. And he didn't pay a ticket or something. He asked to borrow $75. Now, this was back in the 80s, right? And so I said, okay, but I'm going to put it in writing. I'm going to put it in writing that this is a loan and that you're going to pay me back. When you're going to pay me back, he told me. And so I said, okay, well, I'll put it in writing. You'll sign, I'll sign. And then we have an agreement when I'm going to get repaid. He changed his mind. He was like, nah, that's okay. That's okay. I was like, oh, okay. And I never brought it up to him because he knew that he wasn't going to repay me. But I also knew that I wasn't about to take any chances. So I never lent money. I never... this one guy that said with hypergamy, I did everything wrong with him. I purchased things for him, clothing. I treated basically like I was his mama. Okay. I only did that one time in my life. And I was like, I'm the kind of woman that doesn't have to do things 50,000 times to get the message. So that was that relationship. So I'm just taking you decade by decade about relationships. So in my 20s, I had one hypergamous relationship. Everybody else was at my same level or a little bit above me, not necessarily hypergamy. The men who wanted me, or who were hypergamous in hindsight, were married men. I was working at a bank one time as a temp, and one of the vice presidents was a black man. And I remember his last name so clearly because I always wondered if he was related to a pastor at a particular church, a big church in Harlem. Because of his last name, I always wondered if he was related to that family, if not the pastor himself as his son or nephew or something like that. And he, tried to hit on me very subtly, but I just wasn't going to do that. Even and I was in my 20s, and even as a young woman, I'm like, he's married, I'm not, how is this going to end? Not good for me. And I wasn't even clear about how to be a sugar baby. I just didn't have it in me. So that was him. That was in my 20s. And then in my 30s, I had a series of relationships. Usually the men were younger than me. And when a man is your age or younger, hypergamy is out the way. So this young woman asked me about relationships. So I can only tell her from a masculine energy woman, myself, and where I'm going. So as a masculine energy woman, reforming masculine energy woman, I really don't have any good advice for you as in relationships. I can tell you what not to do. Number one, let him come to you. Let him walk across the room. Let him do what he needs to do to approach you first. Smile. Look pretty. Don't talk so damn much. 10 seconds is a good rule. If you're talking beyond 10 seconds, I would really say 5. But if you're talking beyond 10 seconds, you are talking too much and telling too much about yourself. You are trying to convince him what a good catch you are. He already knows that you're a good catch. He walked across the room to introduce himself, or he made the first move, whatever move that is. Number one. Number two, like I said, 10 seconds of talking about yourself, that's it. Keep it to the very superficial level. Where you're from, how many brothers and sisters you have. I don't even tell men my last name when I first meet them. What's the point? You have to prove yourself to me to even get to my last name, because if I give you my full name, all you have to do is Google me, and then you can tell whatever you want about me. Even today, they even put your home address or all your former addresses are out there as public information, unfortunately. So I don't even say that. So relationships, I say that stop sleeping with them. Just stop. And I have a couple of videos where I say, keep your legs closed. Just stop sleeping with them. And I'm talking about the beginning part of a relationship. Just stop sleeping with them. And so if he starts to ridicule you and tell you, oh, you being this, or you being stuffy, or you're being old fashioned, or you're being stuck up, or whatever they say today, that's not the man for you. Because a man who really wants to get to know you, that's not going to be a thing. Because first of all, he's going to know you're not sleeping around with other people. And the way that you handle him is the way you're going to handle other men. So, and it might not be true, but that's the way he views it. So if you are sleeping with a guy within the first 3 months, first 3 days, first 3 hours, he's going to think that this is what you do with other men. But if you don't do it until 6 months in or a year in, he's going to think that's the way you do it with other men. And then he's going to be a happier camper. And if he doesn't stay around for the 3-month mark or the 6-month mark or the 12-month mark, whatever time period you put on giving yourself to to a man, if he doesn't stick around, don't get desperate. Don't get desperate. He's just not for you. And you know that he's not looking for anything serious if he's moving on, because you won't give it to him. He knows that because you won't give it to him, that he has left or stopped calling or stopped showing you any attention. He didn't mean you any good in the first place. He didn't mean you any good. It is a way to vet men, to see if they are matching up with what your standards are, what you're looking for, what your end goal is. On this channel, the end goal is marriage. Okay, so now he's showing interest. He's gotten to the point where he's calling consistently. He's asking you about your day. If you're having a little bit of an issue with someone or something, he's giving you advice. My advice is take his advice. Listen to him. If you want a man to lead in the relationship, you got to set it up that way from the beginning. My grandmother used to say, oh, another long video. My grandmother used to say, Niecy, if you don't want to continue doing something in a relationship, don't start it in the first place. Don't start it in the first place. Okay, I'm going to have to cut this video short because when I upload it, it takes 8 hours to upload a video that's 11 minutes and 29 seconds. So I'm going to continue this in another video. So if you like what I'm saying, please comment below and I will see you in the next one. Bye.